announcement later today for many people living here in Indy.
Yeah, we're expected to find out the next steps in Marion County's reopening process. Matt's live with what Mayor Hogsett could lay out later today. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, good morning to you. Friday, just about half a dozen roads closed, including Mass Ave here in downtown Indianapolis, to allow dining rooms to expand outdoors, like right here on one side of the street. However, this entire road doesn't have any dining, and that's an issue about 24 businesses here on Mass Ave took issue with, because it's just the parking spots on either side that have been taken up right now. So could we see changes to this plan? That's part of what we could be learning this morning, coming up at 10:30, when the mayor will give us an update right now on reopening Indianapolis and Marion County. As it stands right now, in addition to dining rooms around the city indoors, of course, being closed, there's also non-essential manufacturing that's closed, along with hair and nail salons, other personal services, and indoor dining. Those are set to stay closed until at least June 2nd, so we'll be closely watching to see if that changes. Bars are also closed until the end of the month. Meanwhile, a task force is making sure businesses comply and follow the law and the closures. In their first week of enforcement, which started last week, they checked out 79 restaurants and small businesses in Indianapolis and Marion County. They had to educate and bring a handful of them into compliance. Legal action, however, was required in 2 cases. They found 11 businesses that actually opened early ahead of schedule. Many checks were based on complaints that they had received. Now, while that task force continues working right now, we're going to get that update from the mayor about what will actually no longer be closed. It won't be allowed to reopen. That's coming up at 10:30. Of course, we'll stream that announcement for you on WTHR.com.
All right, sounds great. Thanks a lot, Matt. 5:06, and one of the new testing sites is actually one of the state's most iconic landmarks, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This actually started yesterday, and testing is now available every Tuesday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Anyone with symptoms, essential workers, and those who are high risk are eligible, but you do have to make an appointment. We have a link posted for you at WTHR.com.
President Trump continues to post on Twitter saying that if he hadn't done his job well, the U.S. would have lost millions of people.
I think we would have had anywhere from 10 to 20 or 25 times the number of deaths if we didn't act the way we did.
All this comes as infection rates are rising in 18 states. Medical experts point to a correlation to many people beginning to loosen social distancing 2 weeks ago around Mother's Day. They now warn of dangerous consequences from the crowds of parties over the Memorial Day weekend. And Brazil is about to join China on a U.S. blacklist for travelers trying to enter the U.S. This as Brazil passes another milestone. It's now #1 in the world for all the wrong reasons. Brazil now has the highest daily death toll in the world due to COVID-19. And 2 of the world's biggest theme park operators present their plans for reopening today. Leaders in Florida will get the final say on what happens at Disney and SeaWorld. Both parks have been closed for more than 2 months because of the pandemic.
Well, Twitter is keeping a close eye on what the president is pushing out on social media right now. In fact, they're starting to do a fact check for the first time. Meredith is live from her home to provide some context as to what's going on and the reaction it's getting online.
Good morning, Ben. Yeah, President Trump says that Twitter's actually interfering in the 2020 presidential election, saying that they're potentially stifling free speech. This is after they've added a fact check warning to some of his tweets. So this is the tweet. It's from the 26th. He says there's no way, zero, that mail-in ballots will be anything less than substantially fraudulent, bringing up that the governor of California is sending ballots to millions of people, to anyone living in the state, no matter who they are or how they got there. Now, you'll notice this. It's on the bottom of both of these tweets. It says, get the facts about mail-in ballots. That's from Twitter. They added that. And when you click it, here's where it takes you to. So this is kind of the headline page that it gives you, saying Trump makes unsubstantiated claims that mail-in ballots could lead to voter fraud. And then they give you sort of like a little bullet point, quick facts, saying fact checkers say there's no evidence that mail-in ballots are linked to voter fraud, and saying that California claims they're going to send them their ballots to anyone in the state. In fact, only registered voters are going to receive those ballots, and that 5 states do already vote entirely by mail and have for some time now. Mary Kay saying on Facebook, it's about time Twitter stands up to Donald. And hearing from Chelsea saying they should be doing this to everyone's tweets, not just his. What do you think about all this? Do you think it's good that Twitter is kind of fact checking, or do you think they should just stay out of it? We want to hear from you. Join the conversation. This is our show hashtag where you can tweet your thoughts and they could appear right here on the show, guys.